CEO who's one of their partners, right, in them delivering these solutions, there is still so much reluctance for actual organizational change. People will put a band-aid on and say, yeah, we'll support parental leave, we'll support coaching, but we're not actually changing the organization. So for me, where I'm at the moment, because that's a big resistance, that is a very big resistance that is still happening in companies, is to then really draw on my other understanding of change, which is it comes also from the ground up. And that's so important. So I'm really trying to now translate some of my community leadership skills into corporate spaces. So for example, communities of champions, like actually supporting a network of champions with, so they can support each other, but also with ways of learning. And this is another tool that comes from community leadership. It's called peer learning collaborations. And that's when actually people formally really study the change process that they're going through, and they do small experiments, and they have these learning cycles where they actually review, did that small experiment we did work? And then you sort of go, will it work over here in this other unit, or is there something different there? So it's all about learning in an agile way, being very flexible, adaptable, but actually being very purposeful in understanding, why are you doing this? What do you think is going to change, and how does that work? And that's basically how systems change happens. It's when groups of pioneers come together, they form networks, they learn purposely from what they're doing, and then they share those lessons. And that's how an alternative system emerges. And it doesn't have to be from the top down, because again, the stabilizers at the top of the system see any change as risky. They have some reason for feeling that way. And they don't necessarily want to be the leaders of that change. But once they see change happening and it being evidence-based and working, then they'll sort of jump on the new bandwagon. And I think we just have to accept that that's okay. That is actually what our models show, is how systems change happens. So thinking about this bottom up and really thinking about what can we learn from community leadership that we can embed in our companies, because